Bowen and Bowie Jane.
Hello, it's Bowie Jane and Jess Bowen for Babes Behind the Beads. G'day, Jess.
Good day. That is very proper.
No, it's very Aussie.
Very Aussie, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Good day. I'm not even going to try to say it. I don't know why I'm trying to do accents. Not good at accents.
I'm an absolute shocker when it comes to accents, so I'm going to stick with the Aussie and you can stick with the American.
You stick with your amazing Aussie accent. I'll stick with my whatever American accent, I guess. But yeah, Bowie, I have to bring this up right now because I feel like we need to talk about this on air. Last night, you didn't realize this, and I don't know if anyone else gets this, but you had sent a red heart emoji. And that's like what people do in relationships.
Wait. Everyone sends love hearts.
No. They send colored hearts for friends.
What?
Yeah.
Wait.
I think.
Well, I do, yes. Now you mention it, I've sometimes got yellow ones and purple ones from people, but I didn't really know what that means. I just send red to everyone. Why? Hang on, is there
that
a
means
freaking...
You're saying to everyone you're like in love with them.
No.
The red heart. Well, okay, this is just the way me and some of my friends think. But literally, because I had even talked to Lauren about this, my girlfriend, and I was like, the red heart is only for me. You can send the colored hearts to your friends, but don't send red hearts to anyone else. And I think that's the same with like some of our friends. They were like, yeah, I don't use red hearts for anyone but like my significant other.
Oh my God, I've sent red hearts to my boss, to everyone. I literally send red hearts to everyone. But so what color's what? Like, what the hell?
I mean, I think it's just like sometimes I'll send a yellow one or a purple one.
But what does yellow mean?
I mean, I don't really, to be honest.
Yeah, so which color means which then?
Well, I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. I'm probably making up this entire thing. It's not like a rule or it's not like everyone thinks this way, but yellow and purple and blue, like all that stuff, I think it's just meant to be like sent to friends.
Oh my God.
Like, I think those are like the friendly hearts being like, love you, friend. Whereas like the red heart seems very much like, oh, like I love you.
Oh, good. Oh, okay, guys, tweet us if you knew about this code because I 100% have never heard of this. And to everyone I sent a red love heart to, I am not in love with you.
You just broke so many people's hearts.
Yeah. That's including you, Jess.
I know. I was like, is Bowie in love with me?
Oh my God, what does your girlfriend think?
I know. I was like, good thing Lauren knows you and is like, no, Bowie's not in love with you, Jess.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know. I think I'm reading into this maybe, but yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. She sends me red hearts all the time. Lauren's like, babe, come on.
She's Australian. She's got no bloody idea. Oh my God, is this an American thing or is this worldwide? Actually, we've got a few people who listen from around the world. So, yeah, can you let us know if this is America or is this maybe...
Or if I'm just completely making this up. Maybe this is just me and our group of friends that made up this rule for each other. I don't know.
Wow. Well, there's a warning for everyone. Just be really careful about your emojis. Oh, actually, someone was saying the devil emoji means you're horny.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't understand. It was like the smirky purple devil.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was like a horny emoji.
No.
I really didn't.
I was like, oh my God, who have I sent that to?
I just thought that kind of meant like I'm being like, I don't know, mischievous or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, okay. So I'm just going to stick with red though because I don't know what color to send. So
everyone's still going to think you're in love with them. It's fine.
Oh my God. Well, today we have a really, really great guest today. Eva Gardner, who is the bass player for Pink, Tegan Sara, Cher, or Cher as you guys say. Cher. I say Cher. Gwen Stefani, but she's literally the touring bass player for Pink for 12 years or something, right?
Yeah, she's been with her since like 2007 or something like that. And I love like Tegan and Sara. And I mean, I love everyone that she has played with. So I'm so excited that she's here.
Epic. LA born and bred. And I'm sure she's going to have some great stories. So stay tuned because we have a ripper interview coming up. Do you know what ripper means?
I mean, just great, I guess.
Okay, cool.
That one I get, Bowie.
Oh, phew. All right, we will see you soon. Hello, it's Bowie Jane and Jess Bowen. It's Babes Behind the Beats. And today we have Eva Gardner, the world's best bass player, who has performed with Pink, Cher, Tegan Sara, Gwen Stefani, and so many more. Welcome!
Wow, that's a very kind intro. Thank you so much.
Bowie is really good with the intros. So, yeah, I told her, like, we have an ongoing thing where I was like, I just want to pay you to say nice things about me all the time. So that's kind of our relationship.
I love that.
Yeah.
Gotta lift each other up, man.
Exactly.
Women gotta make money in COVID.
That too, yeah. So we have crossed paths but never officially met. But I want to say we played at was it the same Gritty and Pink event?
Possible.
I think so. Yeah, it was maybe back in March before all this started
That was
happening.
the last time I played live.
Yeah, oh my God. I think me too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So for the listeners who don't know, the Gritty and Pink event is an all-female like jam band that our friend Shira puts on, and we do like a lot of covers, and we just put a bunch of females that are in the music industry together on stage, and it's super fun. But yeah, which ones did you do?
I mean, I usually end up doing some Pink songs. I've done Pink a couple of times, and I think I did a Shaka Khan one time. I don't remember exactly. I've done a couple of them, but
yeah. So I'm just gonna get right into it. You get to tour with Pink. That's fucking awesome. That's amazing. We are huge fans. So how did that come about?
I auditioned, actually.
Oh, wow.
And interestingly enough, that audition came out of a different audition that I did. One of the lessons I always tell people is like, you never know how people are going to come back into your life.
Yeah.
So like whenever you do an audition or play a show, like do your best every time, right? Like you never know who's watching. You never know who's there. And this is exactly what happened to me. I did an audition for a TV show called Rockstar in Excess when they were looking for a new singer.
Yep.
So they were auditioning for the house band here in LA. And I didn't get that gig, right? And I'm thinking, oh man, like that was my big chance. It was a big TV gig. And I didn't get that gig, but the MD remembered me from that. And he also happened to be Pink's MD.
Oh my God.
So when she was looking for a bass player 2 years later, he called me.
2 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yes. It's one of those things like you never know. Like I didn't get that one gig, but that led to something else down the line that ended up being like the most incredible opportunity ever. So
wow. So the call was out of the blue?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, yeah, I met you. You did this audition. Remember me? I remember you.
I mean, you're like, yep.
So it's like you might not be right for one gig, but something comes along later on. And
we've talked about this actually a lot of times. I think a few of our guests, we've had this same conversation.
Kay Hanley.
Kay Hanley had the same thing. The singer from Letters to Cleo said the same thing about not getting one thing and being super bummed and being like, this is, the end of it. And
my
then you just,
over.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it just means that something else better came along.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what doors you're opening by those actions.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And your intentions and the way that you go about your craft and how you are to people, how you treat people.
Totally.
I mean, it's all part of the package,
Yeah, I mean, you have to leave also a good impression being a good human as well. You want to make sure you're not.
Yeah. I mean, you imagine if I would have walked away from the audition going like, damn it, that sucked. Yeah. Man, I should have gotten that.
Oh,
right.
fuck you. You don't know what you're missing out on.
Exactly. But like there's people that are like that.
I know.
Unfortunately. So, you just chalk it up to experience and you never know what beautiful things lie down the line.
Yeah.
Right. And so how long has it been since you've been playing with Pink?
I started with her in 2007.
2007. Mm-hmm. So like,
wow.
Oh my God.
I'm like, hang on, what year are we in?
13
I know.
years.
Trying to think of the year.
13 years ago this summer, yeah.
And what was the first tour that you guys did together? Was it in the States or was it overseas?
It was overseas.
Oh, yeah.
And so I did the audition. It was like me and two other people. Actually, I was working at my family's pub at the time, the Cat and Fiddle, which was on Sunset at the time.
Yeah.
And I was working the bar, and the audition happened to be across the street.
Oh.
So I was working with my mom, and I was like, hey, Mom, can you just watch the bar for like half an hour? I have this audition across at SIR. She's like, no problem, honey, I got you. I'm like, George in the corner is drinking his Guinness. I got a tab going for him. Everyone's good right now. And so I like slung my bass over my shoulder, ran across the street, SIR, and she wasn't there, but it was the drummer, guitar player, the MD, and a video camera. Yeah, because she was going to review that night. And so I played through the songs, and you never know, how it goes. You think you just never know.
Right.
You never know. So I was like, cool, done, whatever. Went back, finished up my shift, and And the next day, I was in a movie with a friend of mine, and the MP had called me while I was in the film. You know, movies are a couple hours long, and I get the message when I get out in the voicemail said, "Hey, what's up? So great news. You got the gig.
What?
But if you don't call me back within the next 10 minutes, I'm giving it to the next person."
Oh
my
shit.
God.
Yeah.
So you like
I freaked.
got
I've been in
out.
a movie for like 2 hours.
Oh my
I was in a movie when he left that message. I was like, oh my God.
well, clearly what happened was he
Yeah, he
just
was.
trying to.
Yeah, so I called him back. He was like, "Hey, what's up? I was messing with you."
That's hilarious.
I was like, "I'm getting hazed already." Like,
Your heart must have been racing so. I would have
I would
been
have vomited.
freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was. Yeah. So I'm gonna send you 4 albums of material to learn and pack for 3 months, and we'll see you in 3 days.
Wow.
Four
Yeah.
albums
Yeah.
worth. Well, how much did you have to learn for the audition then? Like, what did
Just
you-
4 songs.
Okay.
But she had, at the time, she had 4 albums out. So, like, that was, they sent me all of the records and the set to learn. And I was on a plane in 3 days. On the way, my first gig was in Ireland, in Dublin.
Oh my God. So how were you prepping then? Like, were you obviously up?
It was like trial by fire, but it's one of those things where it's like, you just have to do it. There's no like, meh. You just make it work.
yeah.
And that's when you really know what you're made of, right? Like when you push yourself and when you challenge yourself. And I mean, it was the first time I'd ever really been in a situation like that, where the stakes were that high. And I'm on a plane, like my first show was in front of thousands of people at Malahide Castle in Dublin.
Wow.
I've
Oh
never
my
played
God.
done anything like that before. It's funny because like I was prepping and learning all the songs, but they had only sent me the album, like the CDs, right?
Oh,
Which
they
is
didn't send like the live.
I didn't have, no.
Oh my God.
No way.
Lucky your experience.
So I got on the plane. I'm in rehearsal, and I still hadn't met her yet. I'm rehearsing with the band, and all the arrangements were different because they were the live arrangements, right? So I'm like, got my notepad, my pen. I'm like, okay, extend the outro here.
Right.
All right, no intro here, double chorus there. It is what it is.
So
right?
you're there looking at the drum and the drummer's still going and you're like, what?
Like, what's happening? Nobody tell me anything. But, again, another lesson. Like, okay, I need to know and take it upon myself to be like, okay, what are the arrangements? What are the endings? What are the beginnings? What are the
Yeah,
transitions?
totally.
That's all part of a live show, right? So I got there, all that changed, but it's fine, whatever, figured it out. And I didn't meet her until sound check right before the show.
Oh my.
Wait,
before the
so
first show.
did you only have? Did you say you only had one rehearsal?
One rehearsal with the band.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I feel stressed about
I'm
that.
like, my heart is
Yeah.
racing thinking about it.
I'm
'cause-
like stressed that this is ever going to happen to me. And I don't even play the bass.
Yeah. And yeah, so one rehearsal, and then we had the show the next day, and
God.
I met her at soundcheck, and she gave me a big hug and said, "Welcome to the family," and it was an
Wow.
incredible experience. Like,
Did you know anyone else on her team, whether people on production or tour manager, anything, crew members or anything?
I knew nobody, and I was
Wow.
walking into a well-oiled machine. They had already been on the road for a while. They were already kind of like
You walked into the family.
kind of road weary and already had it was a well-oiled machine, and
Yeah.
I came into that, and I knew nobody, but I met most of them on the plane, like
Yeah.
like we were all kind of
Same
sitting near
flight,
each other,
yeah.
same flight. I can't even tell you how amazing it was. They made me feel so welcome, and to be in that situation, it can be like, ooh, it's a new thing, and like the new kid on the block, and they all just with open arms just made me feel so welcome and made me feel like family right away. I mean, I'm still one of the newest members of the band.
Wow.
It's like,
Wow.
So she keeps it
That's a
really
good sign.
tight.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a testament of who she is and who everybody is that she has around her, because it's a really special group of people.
All right, so we're going to take it back for a second, actually. I wanted to also ask, you studied ethnomusicology in college, right?
Yes.
So will you explain to maybe listeners who aren't familiar with what that is, what you were studying?
Yeah, so ethnomusicology is basically a cross between musicology and anthropology. So it examines the relationship between music and culture. And it was awesome. I loved it. I did music school before that. Like my high school was a performing arts high school. So I was in the music program there. It was more traditional, like you either do classical or jazz. So I was in the jazz band there, which I loved also. But UCLA had this undergrad program for ethnomusicology, and a lot of the kids that I was graduating with, it was like the thing to do, man. Go do ethno.
Go do ethno.
Ethno major.
It's funny what's cool in different schools.
Yeah.
Like in your school, ethno was cool.
And you know what's really funny is that Jessie Green, our violinist on the last Pink tour, she also has a degree in ethnomusicology from UCLA from a few years prior. So we went through
Random.
the exact same program, but it's such
Did you like cross paths at all back then?
No,
you
we
think?
didn't cross
Oh.
paths, but we just both happened to have ethnomusicology degrees.
Wow, how
from
random,
UCLA.
right?
Super random.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Did that influence your playing then as well? Like, did you play differently before you started studying ethnomusicology? Because you've obviously probably been playing for a long time. I don't know when you started exactly. How old were you when you started?
I was about 14.
14,
I was in my
okay.
first band by 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you've been playing for what, like 4 or 5 years before you got to college and studied? Okay.
Yeah, so I was playing in bands around LA and then did the, more conservatorial thing in high school. The ethno program wasn't so much performance based. It wasn't like a bass major. It was more like world music major. So I got into Indonesian music, actually. Indonesian gamelan became my focus. And although I was still playing in bands and playing in shows and doing that whole thing as well, but school-wise, I became exposed to just music from all parts of the world and the way that different cultures relate to music and how music is part of their lives, which is very different from how we do it in the West. And so for me, it was more like, expanding horizons and seeing what the rest of the world did. Even like our music scale, you can't even, gamelan that I was learning, you can't put into Western notation. It's like there's just so many different. I also played in a Middle Eastern ensemble. I was playing upright bass. And a lot of that is like why I chose upright is because there's no frets on it. Because a lot of the notes are like half flats and just kind of the in between notes that we don't have on our normal diatonic scale. So it's just a whole different exposure, just like a whole different thing.
Yeah.
There's a whole world out there.
The whole world.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, okay, so then out of college, then now that we talked about your college experience, what was the first band that you played with or that you started, or what did you do right after college? Like
right out of college, I went right on a tour with the Mars Volta.
Okay, yeah, I knew that you had been an original member of the Mars Volta, and that was at the drive-in, I think, before?
Yeah.
Right? Was that and then started the Mars Volta. How long did you tour, were you in the Mars Volta for?
I was there for a couple years.
Years.
I started with those guys before there was even like a name, and it was just really just forming.
Was it after they were done with At the Drive-In?
They were done with At the Drive-In
Okay.
and wanted to start a new band. And my friend Ike was in a band called De Facto with them and knew them all from Long Beach. So I knew Ike. I went to high school with Ike's little brother, who was also a bass player, Brandon. And I knew Ike just from the scene. So he called me up when they were looking for people to form this new band. Yeah, we just started playing and figuring out what the band name's going to be and sitting around on the living room floor and just like being a band.
Yeah. Yeah, just being a band.
Being a band.
Yeah, just doing the thing,
doing band stuff.
You've played with so many amazing people. So then after that, who else did you play with?
I played with a guy called Tim Burgess, who's a singer from the Charlatans UK, who is massive over there. So I went over there. I played my first arena show with him in Manchester, England, opening up for the Rolling Stones.
Oh my God.
So it was, I was like, holy hell, this is awesome. Yeah. And then I played Wembley Arena with him also. So that was like my introduction to the arena scene, was opening up for the Stones. But it was like a really incredible full circle moment because my dad opened up for the Rolling Stones in 1967. And my dad was in a band with Ron Wood at the time. They were in their first band together. And then I'm opening up for the Stones, but Ron Wood's in the Stones this time. So it was like this really wild and just cool moment. And Ron Wood from Soundcheck was like, hey, nice one, Eva, like acknowledging like, look at us. Hey.
Oh my God.
Second generation scenario.
That's so cool.
And Keith Richards had a cigarette behind his ear during their sound check the whole time. He ended up, like, after their sound check, he put that cigarette on top of my amp. Whoa. And it had a big ass sweat stain on it. I was like, so if I smoke this right now,
you're smoking.
You're basically him.
Yeah, smoke this. I'm like inhaling him.
I'm inhaling Keith Richards.
And then you'll live forever.
I'll live forever. That's the secret.
That's so incredible.
It's really
wow.
exciting.
I mean, that's incredible. You played Wembley, to me, the most like famous arena, I feel like,
Arena.
to play.
Yeah. It was. Wow. Unbelievable.
That's insane. All right. So you played these arenas, amazing arenas with Tim Burgess. So then after that, who else did you play with after Tim
I did
Burgess?
Veruca Salt after that.
Okay,
I went
Veruca
over
Salt.
to Australia with them.
Yeah.
Bowie's Land.
Yeah, that was my first Aussie experience.
Where were you first? Melbourne or Sydney?
Where did we start? I don't remember where we started, but we went to both. Melbourne, Sydney.
And did you play in Australia with Pink? Because Pink's huge in Australia. So many gigs in one city. how many in Melbourne? Like
The record is 18.
18
at Rod
shows,
Laver.
like their arenas.
What?
Yeah.
And the tour before she did 17, and then when we went back, she broke her own record.
We're talking every night of the week she's playing kind of thing. Almost.
my
I mean, you'd know
God.
better, but
Yeah, we did.
Something like that.
We'll park in a city for 2 weeks and do like 10 shows, and then we'll go to the next city, do 10 shows, and then we'll come back and finish up.
Like a mini residency in another country.
But at an arena. And also
At arenas, yeah.
everyone in Melbourne. Melbourne's only got 5 million people, but like everyone you speak to is going, oh, are you going to Pink's concert? Yeah, I'm going next week. Like,
So basically everyone in Australia
Goes to Pink's concert.
sees Pink.
There was some
because
crazy statistic that we had played to like some crazy percentage of the Australian population. Is that where you're from? Are you from Melbourne?
Yeah, I'm from Melbourne.
I love
yeah.
it there. It's awesome.
That's funny.
that's
Yeah.
incredible. And then but you went there first with Veruca Salt.
Yeah.
So and how long were you there for?
I think I was there for a couple weeks, which is
Okay.
what normally is
Normally, a normal tour.
there. Yeah, and we did the falls festivals.
Oh, yeah.
We went to Tasmania.
Yes.
Which is exciting.
I'm
which
so
is beautiful.
jealous. We were
went to
talking about Tasmania on our last episode. Actually, one of our
I was
last episodes.
describing the map of Tassie. Anyway,
Yes,
I won't explain the map of Tassie.
I've heard it's beautiful
I
though.
gotcha.
I've heard it's so
yeah,
beautiful.
You know. I can't keep making the same joke every episode.
It's
I
fine.
got you.
Oh, that's incredible. So it's beautiful there. I'm imagining.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so
it is.
jealous.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Cool.
And then I do have to bring up one of my favorites is that you played with Tegan Sara. I'm a huge Tegan and Sara fan.
me too.
Huge Tegan and
How
Sara
long
fan.
did you play with them for?
I was with them in 2016. What did I do? I did a promo and fall winter run of their Love You to Death record, and then Cher called. So I
and then no big deal. Cher just rang.
she picked back up again. So
I hope you went in a movie at the time.
I was not.
Got 10 seconds to call me back.
Cher's like, call me back, or else I'm giving this to the other.
But I had toured with her prior. So
Oh, right.
same manager as Pink's manager.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what's that timeline like then? So you've been with Cher after Veruca Salt and then before Tegan and Sara?
Cher was 2014 when I started with her.
Gotcha. Yeah, so then it was before. It was between
Yeah.
Veruca Salt and Tegan and Sara. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. I love them so much, and I hope someday I get to do something with them again because they're just awesome.
Oh my God.
them.
I love their music, and I mean, they just seem like they'd be so fun to tour with.
They're so fun. They're freaking hilarious.
Yeah, and they seem like they
every
would be.
show is comedy hour.
Yes, I saw them live. It was probably 2008 or 9 or something, and I just remember laughing my ass off the entire time.
Really?
Yeah. They're hilarious
They're
on
hilarious.
stage.
I haven't seen them live, but I wouldn't have expected that.
Is
Yeah.
it
I
just
just-
norm? Is it banter? Like it's just like improv, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And you never know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen. And it was wild because I was touring with them right before the election in 2016. So there was a lot of stuff going on, and we did Tiny Desk the night before the election in DC.
Oh, wow.
So there was a lot of stuff going on, a lot of conversation, and a lot of all that. But so a lot of it was political awareness stuff.
Yeah,
That was going around, but still, I mean, God, I had so much fun on that tour.
And
yeah,
that was in the States, that tour?
that was States and Canada.
What were the Canada shows like there? Because they're from Canada. They're from Toronto, right? Were those like massive? Are they bigger in Canada than they are here?
It was still theaters.
Okay,
yeah, it was
so
still
probably
theaters,
same.
and we did a lot of radio and in stores and stuff like that.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So with the bigger artists, I mean, they're huge, but with, say, Pink and Cher, you're just doing massive arenas mostly, or you're doing a couple of small shows?
When we do promo runs, sometimes there'll be like club dates,
Yeah,
or
right.
like TV things like that. But once we're in like a tour cycle, it's usually an arena, or like last summer it was stadiums overseas.
Yeah, cool.
That is incredible. And so with Cher, where did you tour with her?
So the first tour I did with her was North America, and then when I picked back up with her, I was doing the Vegas residency.
Oh, you did the Vegas.
It was Vegas
okay.
actually and Maryland. There was like a casino in Maryland too, so we were going back and forth
Oh, really?
between the two.
Weekend to weekend type thing,
It
or
was,
no?
it was more like a few weeks in Vegas,
Gotcha.
and then
And then
yeah,
again.
but I don't think that they're doing the Maryland one. I don't think
That's interesting. Maryland, of all places to
So
do it.
how did a residency feel when you're so used to being on the road?
So I was coming right out of the Tegan and Sara tour, which was full on. I think there was one week where we did like 11 shows that week. Those girls worked really, really hard. They're amazing. So it was full on, like wake up on the bus, go straight to an in-store.
Oh, wow.
From the in-store to sound check at the venue, that kind of a thing. So coming off of that and going into a residency, I was like, oh, wow, okay. Being in one place doesn't sound that bad because you get to sleep in a bed and I mean, they're both awesome. But coming right out of that, I was like, okay, cool. And it was interesting because I got to see Vegas in a different way that I never had before. Normally, like we stay on the strip in Vegas and you're just like,
Where were you staying?
They have apartments.
Oh, that's nice. They put you up in
they put you up in an apartment because you're there for so long. So I got to see a side of Vegas that was like, oh, this is where normal people go to Trader Joe's. And
Oh, yeah.
Like, there is a normal life in Vegas outside of the strip.
There's a good foot spa down in this weird mini mall that everyone goes to, and so that was a cool experience as well.
Do you prefer? Oh, yeah, they're just different. So you don't prefer one over the other, I'd imagine.
No, I love them. I like it all.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I feel like it's like if you're just playing music, kind of like.
But I think it's balanced too, right? It's easy to get worn out when you're on the road in a different city every night, just naturally, just your body cycle, just your sleep cycle. Like if you're doing that for a long periods of time, it's easy to get burnt out.
Right.
So I think just keeping a balance. But, then again, if you look at like if you're doing a residency and you're there for like 6 weeks, you can be like, okay, like what's next? Yay!
Yeah.
Especially if you're used to being in a different
city. You wake up in a different city every day. I could imagine. Yeah, you kind of feel antsy if you stay.
But it's all awesome. I love it. I miss it. It's all wonderful.
So tell me what you do on like your days off on tour. What have you kind of been getting into?
Lately, the last couple years, my days off really mostly looked like working on music.
So solo stuff that you've been doing, right? Because I know that you have solo projects and you work on or bands and everything that you've been doing.
Yeah, I'm always in a band. I'm always in a band, and when I'm home, I'm doing a band.
Yeah.
But this last run, I was out for 2.5 years. So the band I was in just kind of went through
a little break.
Everyone just kind of, it's like not much was happening because
you're gone.
I was away. So, but that really moved me into shifting into just doing on like some solo stuff because I was writing songs, and technology is where it is to where I could fit a studio and a computer bag, and just basically had a laptop and a controller and an interface and made a record.
That's
wow. Incredible.
So you're producing it yourself. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And what's your gear on the road like for people who are wondering, how can I do this?
So I've just got like my laptop, and I use Logic, which I love, and I've got an Apogee Duet interface. Actually, I also love there's an Apogee One because that's got a built-in microphone. So I was really just originally using Logic to write, and I was like, I'll just re-record everything in like a proper studio. So at one point I was just traveling with the Apogee One. It's a 1-channel controller, but it's got a built-in mic. So I was like, I don't have to carry a mic around because like the lighter the load over time, every pound adds up over time, So I was just traveling with that, and it was awesome. And so I was writing on days off, and because I was on the road for so long and we were going to the same cities multiple times, it was like the dead of winter at one point, so I was like, you can't really go outside, you can't really sightsee, you can't do much except really be indoors. So I really took the opportunity it was just like the perfect storm for me to just be creative.
Did you teach yourself Logic, or like when did you think, I'm going to do this myself instead of maybe relying on someone else? Or have you always sort of been in that land?
I've been using Pro Tools for quite a while. I started using Pro Tools like 15 years ago, but that was mostly like to record band practice and record some stuff. My creative process was more a collaborative effort with a band. That was more kind of where I was at. And then when I got hip to Logic, that shifted because there's so many sounds in Logic. There's so many loops. There's so many layers. There's so many things you can do that just made it just easy for ideas to come to fruition. And the joke I was making her is like, if you feel like you need an accordion solo in the bridge, you can just call just do it. You don't need to plug in an actual accordion or find someone who plays an accordion. You just need a controller and all those sounds are there. And then, oh, that sucks. What's the next? Oh, a kazoo. Cool. Maybe I'll use that sound and put a weird filter on it. And, and, make it whacked out and then add a loop over it. There's just so many, the possibilities are endless, and that just is amazing for creativity. So I just started writing a lot more because that tool was there.
Well, as a drummer, I'm curious, what are you doing for the drums when you're using Logic?
I use loops, or I'll use like box drums. Like I have Easy Drummer.
Okay, yeah.
Right now, Tune Tracks. Yeah. What I've been doing. Sometimes I use the Logic drummer just for time. Like if I'm tracking guitars or something, I can't just play to a click. Like I need to lay some sort of rhythmic beat down so that I'm in time, because I'm playing to metronome, but to have that just something.
Like the feel of something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what I will usually end up doing is I'll have a real drummer eventually. Like for my EP, I had all my tracks, but I went into a friend's studio in Joshua Tree and redid all the vocals because I was just like, yelling into the Apogee One mic. I was with my expectation of just doing it later. Like I didn't even think of like making it. I was like, this is going to be my scratch vocals. I'm just writing right now. But a lot of times those are the best takes. Like you can't recapture that, and that was a lesson for me. Don't just go into it thinking it's just a demo. Make it sound good as you're going, because I ended up using 85-90% of my stems.
Wow, that's crazy.
I thought I was going to have to redo everything, but the guys are like, no, man, it's like technology is good.
Crazy.
You played to a metronome, it's on time, it's in tune, so they kept it.
They're like, this sounds, oh my God.
That's fine.
That's incredible.
Like I overdubbed some like 12 string and some sort of, like a friend played some lap steel and things like that. But like the meat and potatoes of it, everything I did on tour.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that was a good lesson.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good lesson for people. If you're using Logic, like don't ever just think this is a scratch. A lot of my friends that are musicians say the same thing, where they've had it on the album end up being, they're like, that was the demo, or that was a scratch vocal, or that was scratch whatever it was they were doing.
Yeah, because like as you're writing it, that's when you're getting the download.
Yeah,
that's when you're getting, that's coming through the ether, and you're the antenna. So that's the inspiration, and that's what's coming across. It's not just like how it sounds, but it's like how it feels.
Right. Do you play other instruments, or do you mostly just stick with bass?
I do. I mean, I'll play the basses. Like I'll play electric, key bass, and sing. But I mean, I'm a bass player number one. Like I'll play guitar to write, and I'll track stuff. But I would say first and foremost, I'm a bass player.
Rhythm section.
Yeah.
So where are you heading with your solo stuff? Are you writing at the moment, or what's the plan?
I am actually. I have a single coming out in a few weeks.
Ooh,
this is perfect.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
Sure.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't.
She's like, nope, absolutely not.
I'm not telling you. Nobody can know.
No one will know.
Yeah, I just decided to. I'm using this time to really up my game with getting my Logic chops better and just my music production chops better. And if I don't have to go into a big studio or a nice studio or whatever, like we have the tools now, and especially at this time, like I'm back in school, so to speak. I'm taking a few music production courses and doing some composition for brands, and just spreading my wings a little bit and trying some different things, and learning some new stuff. In the interim, I was like recording a new song I had. I was like, well, shit, I'm just going to record it into my Logic, into my DAW. And like, how do I make it sound good? How do I make a recording that's by myself that I can use and put it out? So it's kind of like my guinea pig song. So I recorded everything, and
that's cool.
I programmed the drums, but I had my friend Mark, who was in the Cher band and Pink band with me, drummer. I shot him the song, and he tracked in his studio. He tracked the drums, and so so there's live drums on it, and I did everything else. And I was like, hey, why not just put it out there? So I shot a video for it a couple weeks ago. Why not?
So is this going to be under your name, or do you have a name for the project? Or
it's just my name.
Okay, yeah. And have you put out other tracks already that are out on Spotify and all that under your name?
Yes, under my name. I have an EP I put out last year called Chasing Ghosts. It's 5 songs.
Amazing.
5-song EP. I did a couple of videos for it. And interestingly, I put it out while I was on the road.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, you're really productive. I have to say, because when I'm on the road, I'm like, my days off, I'm like,
Jess does CrossFit.
I just work out, and then I'm like, I need a drink now.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, you're like the detox and retox.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's just where you're at the time. I think that you need to honor where you're at, and if you just need to check out on your day off, that's totally fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think days off are important. For like getting your me time, whatever it is, to recharge. Because when as you know, when you're on tour, I mean, it's it is exhausting. I don't think people understand that it can be, and it's like a monotonous thing where it's like you wake up in a new city, you're doing the same thing every day, and for the days off that you need to kind of stimulate yourself. In another way.
Yeah.
And
I think for me, it's like I didn't have a band at the time. I wasn't doing anything creative with anybody, but I needed a creative outlet.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, really.
Yeah.
And it all started out just to do it because I had melodies popping into my head and so I was like, cool. So if I read something cool in a book or hear something fun or see a weird billboard with a phrase I like, I'm always keeping just jot them down.
Yeah, when you start thinking that way, you see lyrics everywhere.
Everywhere.
Don't you? You're like, damn.
Everywhere.
And when you're not thinking like that, you're the exact same person and you don't say it. It's crazy.
Yeah, but if you open up the channel, like I'm aware of it. So.
Wow.
So you have played with so many amazing people, but one of them who seems like she's an awesome chick is Gwen Stefani.
She is super awesome.
When was that?
That was 2015 and 2016.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Were you like on tour with her? Or?
I did. A lot of it was sort of one-off promotional kind of private gigs. So it wasn't an actual full cycle tour, but it was like fly dates, some TV stuff.
Which record was it for? This Is What the Truth Feels Like.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It was the 2016, right? It's the one that's
2016
her breakup album.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She seems so down to earth. You always wonder if they really are like that, but I bet she is.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems like a badass for sure.
Yeah, I want to be friends with her and stuff,
Yeah. We just want to be friends with everyone you've played with. So
I have been so lucky to be able to support these incredible women. Like it's such an honor.
Real power women, all of them actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I was listening to an interview with Sheila E. and she was saying,
I love her.
Yeah, it was Red Bull Music Academy. I don't know if you've listened to those podcasts. It's really good. And she was talking about how it's just so important to be easy to work with. Mm-hmm. That's everything nearly.
Yeah, it's true because it's all relationships. Yeah. Right? And they say like, your network is your net worth, but like there's some truth to that because it's all relationships.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like if someone needs someone in a band, the people you think about are the people that are easy to work with, that have a good work ethic, that get the job done, that are a good hang, that have a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
All those things. But, it really is in the relationships. And all the gigs that I've gotten mostly have been about that, recommendations.
How'd you get the Gwen Stefani?
So it's like this amazing lily pad path. I did the audition for Pink, and then the people that I work with from that's how I got Cher. And then the MD on Cher recommended me was working with Gwen. So
there you
that's how I
go.
got Gwen. And then one of the guys on Gwen was working with Tegan Sara. And that's how I got Tegan Sara. So it's like this chain.
Yeah. So it is everyone. It's who you know.
Yeah. It's who you know and how you are.
And how you are. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very important, those two things for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, I just remembered our producer would really like to know. He's going to go, don't say that. What bass amp do you use and what pedals do you use, if any?
Yeah. So I use Ampeg amplifiers. I use the SVT line, and it's an exciting time because it's the 50th anniversary of the SVT, which we're celebrating right now.
Cool.
That really kind of changed the face for bass amps. So yes, I use the SVT line. I love the SVT VR, which is the nod to the vintage model. My touring rig, I use the SVT2 Pros and 810 cabinets. And as far as pedals, I use mostly, it varies on what the gig is. Currently, I'm using a Turbo Rat distortion pedal. I'll use a little chorus sometimes, but for the most part, I've got a fairly clean sound.
I'm going to act like I know what all of those things are.
You look like you, yeah.
Besides the 810
I'm
cabinets.
a singer, so I've got no
I
idea
was
what
like,
you're talking
yeah,
about.
810 cabinets. Definitely know that. Everything else
I was like,
sounds
SVT,
cool. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
But what bass do you use then? At least I'll know this.
Yeah, I use Fender Precision basses.
See, I know that.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's amazing. Have you always used the precision, or did you ever use like the jazz? What did you start with?
I'm
and
a
then
precision girl. My dad was a bass player, and he used precisions. I just always thought that was the bass to use.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
And it took me a while to earn a Fender. I was borrowing basses for a long time because my dad didn't really dig the idea of me playing bass. Interestingly, I had to really fight.
Did he want you to play something else, or just
no?
not?
He was just. I think he was just like, you don't want to do this music thing, kid.
He was like, I did it. You just don't do it.
You don't want to know. You don't want to. You don't want to. And I mean,
You're like, oh, okay, I'll do ethno.
Yeah, he's not, unfortunately, not around to tell me why he wasn't into it. It could be a lot of reasons, but I'm grateful for that because that made me go like, no, I want to do it, and I had to work for it. Like it really made me realize that it is what I wanted to do. Because sometimes when things are handed to you and it's too easy, it has the opposite effect.
Totally.
Yeah. So being told no was like the best thing that ever happened. So it took me a while to earn my Fender, but I did eventually.
I mean, I did have the opposite effect. You're right, because my dad was a drummer and kept trying to get me to play drums, and my older brother did, and then it was me next, and I was just like, absolutely not. Like, I don't want to.
She's like, it's not cool.
Was it expected?
I think because it was expected, and I think I also was like, I just want to be different. My dad and my older brother play drums. Like, I don't want to be a drummer. My thought was literally like, girls don't play drums. What I thought was
we're programmed.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I just thought to myself, like, but like girls don't play drums. I don't want to play drums. I want to play guitar. Is what I thought. And so we had talked about this before, but I'd gotten conned into it. But you're right, it is like an opposite effect. If my dad had probably been like, not for you, I'd be like, fuck you, I'm gonna do this. You know?
Yeah. Well, I was like, girls don't play bass. I want to play bass.
There you go.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Wow.
You had the right
Well,
mindset.
it's not right or wrong. I think it's just, it is what it is. But eventually you find your way. Yeah. What changed your mind?
Once I started playing and actually fell in love with it, I think I was just like, I don't care if this is something that I thought girls didn't do before. I'm like, this is what I love. I'm passionate about this. I mean, I would join the school band, the jazz band, in 7th grade. That's when my dad got me to start playing, and I would sneak into the band room during lunch to play the drums when I knew my teacher wasn't there, because you weren't supposed to go in and play drums. It was loud or whatever, but I would just go in, lock the door, sneak in, and do my thing, because I ended up falling in love with it so much.
That's awesome.
So
if I didn't play bass, I'd play drums.
I think it's a rhythm section thing, because now that I play drums, I think I'd want to play bass. I thought I grew up wanting to play guitar when I was younger, and now it'd be bass would be my second instrument for sure. And it's just a rhythm thing. I think.
When I was in jazz band in high school, during lunch breaks, I was always asking the drummers to show me shit.
Oh, there you go.
I was always hanging out with the drummers. Show me that one rhythm, like show me how to play the congas. Show me how to play the
I mean, bass players and drummers. I mean, I don't know if you can attest to this, but to me, I'm like, I feel like I just always get along with bass players. I feel like we're always
drummers are always my besties.
Yeah, there you go.
It's so true.
It's like people think it's stereotypical, but I'm like, no. I mean, it really is. When I meet like another bass, like rhythm section partner, I'm like, we're gonna be friends.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah, I date guitar players and are best friends with drummers.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't date the drummer.
No.
Don't date the drummer.
So, all right. Well, we do a little quiz at the end.
Okay.
So here it goes. We do this with all our guests, and it's to help people know you a little better.
Yeah, are you ready? You ready for this?
All right. First question: dogs or cats?
I'm a dog person.
Yes. Do you have dogs?
I do.
Tell us about.
I grew up with dogs.
Ooh.
I grew up with a lot of animals. We had a bit of a zoo growing up, but we always had dogs. And I have 2 rescues, and they are 16 and 14. And I had them since they were little babies.
What do you do on the road?
My family helps out.
Great.
That's good.
Yeah. So I've been
perfect.
getting to spend lots of time with them recently, which
They
has
must love
been
that.
great. They
And
do.
you must love that,
I love
too.
it, especially like she's going on 17, my oldest. So, it's nice. It's so nice to be with her and make sure she's got what she needs. And, they're the best.
Do you say they were shepherd mixes?
They're shepherd mixes, yeah. So they're about like 60 pounds.
Oh, okay.
60 pounds,
Oh.
55, 60 pounds.
They must be smart dogs.
They are so smart. They're just best buds.
Do they sleep with you at night? Do you guys cuddle?
They
cuddle
don't.
bugs?
They're not allowed up on the bed.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Jess,
I know
they're
that's
not allowed up on
But
the
they're
bed.
they're also really big.
Yeah,
and there's
I
2
mean,
of them.
it would be
yeah.
hard if you've got
Not
two
like this
60-pound. Yeah, I know. I've got Pepe over here sitting to the left of me right now on a chair, but he's 9 pounds, so it's easy for him to sleep in the
Yeah,
bed.
I had a rabbit that was 9 pounds.
Oh, there you go. Your rabbit and Pepe could have been friends.
Yeah. I grew up with rabbits too. Rabbits are like my favorite.
That's funny.
cool.
I grew up with rabbits as well. I don't know if I ever told you this, Bowie, but
No.
I grew up with rabbits because my mom she has a phobia of dogs. So I never had dogs growing up, which I think is what makes me love dogs now. But the one thing we were allowed to have were rabbits because obviously they're not dogs where they're running around the house, so you can keep them in their cage and then I could just play with them when I wanted to. But yeah, I had Fluffy. I got to name them. So I had Fluffy,
That was original.
Fluffy Jr., and Fluffy the Third.
Were they related or like?
Not at all. I just had 3 different rabbits that I decided to name all Fluffy.
That's
Because
cute.
I was like in elementary school and thought this is the best name ever.
I had Snowball and Tinkerbell.
Oh, there you go.
That's you.
And they were a male and a female, but I think they were related because they would have babies and the babies would come out kind of crazy.
no.
I know it really threw me into a whole other world of taking care of animals.
You're like, oh, that's what happened.
Yeah,
Whoops.
it was kind of weird.
Were they flop-eared bunnies or like the?
They were dwarfs.
Oh, they were dwarf.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then I had another set of rabbits, Ebony and Ivory, who were both female, and like one of them lived to be 12.
Wow.
And the other one was 10.
Oh my god.
I didn't
Yeah.
know they lived that long.
They don't.
They don't,
usually.
yeah.
They
No,
usually
yeah,
like
that's-
5 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but
Wow.
you know,
I do love.
I love them.
Maybe we can change the question to
I know,
dogs or bunnies.
Yeah,
So cats are out.
No
we know
more
that.
cats there.
cats are cool. You know, I don't.
Cats are cool.
I think-
It depends on the cat, to be
Yeah, it
honest
depends
with
on
you.
the cat.
I've had such bad experiences with cats. I've been like clawed so many times, but
I got bitten by a cat when I was little, so I think that kind of
Yeah.
Oh, one
that
actually
kind of bummed
bit
me
you.
out. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
at a friend's house, and I was like, meow.
Yeah.
You're mean.
Yeah, you're like, I'll just
Get away from it.
But my sisters have cats, so I always cat sat for them.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
that was like my, you know,
Yeah, when you meet a cool cat, you're like, maybe I can get into cats.
I got
You're
my
a cool
cat
cat.
fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister has a cat called Crumbles, which is
Oh,
like,
that's a cool name.
and she's like the sweetest little teddy bear. She's
Aw.
a super cool cat.
Basically, if you're a cat that acts like a dog, love you.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly.
Okay, enough about cats and the dogs and the bunnies. Next question. Whiskey or vodka?
Both.
Oh, yes. Good. Finally, someone that says both.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because I'm also both.
I'm both, but I'm definitely more
You're
whiskey.
more whiskey.
Yeah, I just drink Jameson.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
No
What are your
hangover.
go-tos for whiskey and then go-tos for vodka?
Well, let's see. I'm a bourbon fan.
Yes.
Yep, me too.
And for vodka, I'm always like a fan of a dirty martini.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nice.
Like that. I like that. Well, see, I knew we'd be friends.
Yeah.
Big rhythm section. We like whiskey and vodka, and we had bunnies. This is
Exactly.
like
It's meant to be. And you don't date the drummer, so it's perfect.
There we
There you go.
All right, next question. Beach or snow?
Ooh, I like them both, but I would say if I had to choose one, beach.
Okay. Well, but that's obviously the wrong answer.
Is this where we cross?
this is where
we
you
part
failed.
ways?
You failed the quiz now.
No, we love
fork
the
in the
beach.
road.
We love the beach, but we like the happy hour and stuff at the snow, and the mulled wine and the fire.
there is
and-
definitely
fireplace.
a whole thing about that for sure. But I get cold very easily. I'm kind of like a wimp.
Yeah.
So if I'm in it for a few days, like a trip to the mountains, I'm good. But if it's an extended time,
Well, it is easier being warm. Being cold
yeah,
is
of course.
annoying.
Yeah.
I think
no.
I grew up here. You know, I grew up
Yeah,
in
you-
LA.
Oh, that's
and
true.
going
You're an
to-
LA native,
I'm an
so-
LA native, so beach on the weekends, and that was just.
Did you like ever
childhood.
take trips to like Big Bear or like
Yeah.
stuff like that?
Yeah, we would go like to Big Bear, like family trips to Big Bear for Christmas and things like that.
Yeah, I love Big
just-
Bear and like Mammoth and those places.
Yeah, I go to Mammoth a lot. We've got Mammoth friends who listen to this podcast. Hello, everyone. There we go.
We're still trying to convince everyone that it's snow.
So obviously this interview is up in the air. But next,
The next question is this headlining or open?
I think both are great.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know, I think opening is fun because you can do your thing and then you can sit back and
Yep.
hang out.
that's precisely my point. Then you can
Yeah.
relax. Then you're not nervous. Done. See ya. Bye.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, but then there's just something really cool about headlining too. But it depends on the headlining slot because if it's like the headlining slot at 1 a.m, that's brutal.
Exactly.
Or as a DJ, 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ba-boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So I
horrible.
think it just kind of depends.
Pros and cons to both, which is very true. It's nice to hear everyone's perspective. So
And this one will be good. This is our last question. What is on your rider?
The writer. Gosh. It's really.
Like, do they ask you when you turn up?
Yeah, it's really basic, like hummus and vegetables
Bunny
and-
rabbits.
and a bunny.
Yep.
Hang out with.
That's all.
There was one band it was a tour I was on, and the guys thought it would be really funny to put canned tuna
I've
on
had
there
that
as a
happen
joke,
before.
you know.
Yeah.
But like, you know,
I would eat that though,
I would eat it too. But
except it smells.
yeah, it's it's just a joke but it stayed on the writer for like the whole time. So we got like cans of tuna, no can opener, and who wants to
So they
open
didn't
it
even get the
anyway?
the
No.
top that just comes off.
Oh, that's useless.
How rude.
It was just a stupid joke.
Yeah, it's a really dumb joke for
Yeah.
sure.
What are the
You know.
green rooms like on the big tours? Are they good or are they varied?
I mean, usually if it's like an arena, the green room will be like the locker room.
Yeah.
If it's like a basketball or a hockey arena or something like that. So we're in the locker rooms pretty
Yeah,
much.
you expect more, really. You would think there would be more, but no, you're right. It is a sports arena.
It's it's a sports arena. I mean, it gives you a lot of space, and then of course you've got like the buses. Well, what's your bus situation like? How many buses are on the tour when you're out with like Pink, for instance?
I think we had like 13.
13 buses.
That's so cool.
So who are you busing with?
So it's a band. There's a band bus.
The band bus,
There's a dancer
right.
bus.
Gotcha.
There's a management bus. There's I think audio and some of the crew departments will share. It'll be like audio and wardrobe.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
bus, depending on how many people are in the department.
Totally.
But we have a band bus.
Yeah.
And then, like, speaking of like, it's on the rider, I think at that level also, you don't put as much on your rider because you've just got catering.
We have catering
all the time.
So there'll be
yeah.
snacks. We've got nuts and some tea stuff and drinks
Yeah.
and stuff. But we have catering, so we don't really need that.
Yeah, there's no need to
that
be
much
like,
stuff.
we need bread.
Yeah.
And
You'll be on
cold
the
cuts
rider.
and
Yeah.
mustard.
You'll
Yeah.
be on the rider because Jess will like one day she'll ask for a loaf of bread, the next day, they try and mix it up.
because when you're on a club tour, you're trying to get things. You're like, okay,
Stock
you can
your
eat-
pantry.
you can eat.
so you can eat, and you're like, stock the pantry.
Exactly.
So yeah, we've talked about this plenty of times before, where it's you're strategic about it.
I definitely raid the bus on days off.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Like, I need a snack.
yeah, and
there
that's
might
what
be
you
tuna
want.
on the bus.
There might be tuna without a can opener. Let me see.
Well, see, now they come in pouches.
Oh, they got the pouches for you
They
guys.
got pouches now. This is, the tour I was talking about was like a long
time ago.
Pouch. Pre-pouched tuna. Yeah.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this. We were so honored to have you on. So you have a new single coming out. So we want to just tell our listeners how to find you. So do you want to give everyone like your Instagram, your Twitter, Facebook, anything that people can find you and follow you on?
Yeah, thank you. My Instagram is at Eva Gardner. My Twitter is at Eva Gardner. Facebook is official Eva Gardner. And I have a website, evagardner.com. And that is EVA. Eva, not Ava.
That's important to clarify.
That is important.
Yeah.
EVA,
Yeah.
not AVA,
Yeah.
everyone.
It
So
happens. With a last name like Gardner,
Yeah.
it happens.
I
a lot.
can imagine.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I know. In fact, that was the first thing to come up in Google.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you mean Ava?
I was like, no, I did not.
Yeah. It's all good.
Amazing. Well, yeah, thank you so much. It was so
Yeah,
great
thank
talking
you.
to
Thank
you.
you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And take care and stay safe and have hopefully we'll see you guys soon.
Yep. Yep. See you in the pit.
See you in the pit.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Here is a little sneak peek for you of my new single, Love and Drugs. It's not out for a few weeks, but you get to hear it now first.